First of all, I'd like to thank you for being here this morning in order to celebrate together the role of protected area in agriculture and sustainable tourism. Let me also give my warm welcome to Mr. Ignacio Shops, President of Europark Federation, and to all representatives of European parks, and all my friend deputies that are coming. I know that many colleagues are coming. Today is not very an exciting day because it's a plenary date, so we have to stay in the plenary. At the same time, is quite complicated for all of us, even for me that after my introduction, I leave to Ignacio the role to manage it this day. So I say warm welcome to Ignacio Shops, President of Europark Federation, and all to the friends that are here. I am very glad and honored to host and to open this ceremony as a Europark Federation represent hundreds of responsible authority and thousands of protected areas in 38 countries. This important network is committed to facilitate international cooperation in all aspects of protected area management to improve and conserve our shared natural inheritance. So we are here today in order to celebrate the vital work of the protected areas toward the implementation of the European Charter for Sustainable Tourism in those areas. This charter is an important practical management tool to enable protected areas to develop tourism sustainability. Tourism is a booming business that representing one of the main economic drivers of Europeans' rural economies, directly and indirectly. It accounts for around 10% of European GDP and more or less 20 million jobs. As a Vice Chair of Agri Committee, I take this opportunity to underline the need to take care of both the land and the people who live and work in the protected area and often derive their livelihood from those who come to appreciate these magic places. For all these reasons, it is of paramount importance to support and to invest in sustainable tourism in European protected area. And it provides not only a meaningful quality experience, but it also safeguards natural and cultural values, supporting local livelihood and quality of life. So, before moving to the conclusion, let me stress one more point. Agriculture and protected areas are often perceived to be in opposition, but they are in fact complementary to competitive agriculture needs. I hope today will be an important day to stress this point. In fact, a healthy environment and natural resources, as they are provided by the protected areas, it's important to share this statement. Protected areas want to help the development, looking at the qualified natural resources that they are. So likewise, a healthy environment and natural protection needs farmers' engagement. Agricultural activity play a key role in the management of European Union land and the conservation of biodiversity. Protected area and agricultural production are part of the same landscape and of a larger, more integrated rural ecosystem from which natural goods and service can be optimized with integrated a complementary system. In this regard, we have to keep on promoting a positive dialogue between agriculture and protected areas communities, which is the core. Today, we'll have the chance to listen to many successful stories showing the effective partnership which already existing in many European national, regional and peri-urban parks. These efforts have to be aware by European Union and national and regional authority and financial, legal and political level. The Common Agricultural Policy pays specific attention to farmers acting within close to protected areas and Natura 2000 sites, engaging in environmentally friendly agriculture, and working in partnership with protected areas authority in order to recognize their work and reward their effort. Conciliating farming interests with biodiversity conservation, contributing to climate change action and fostering the creation of European rural areas as a living landscape is possible, and the European Parliament will always give the support in this direction. So that's the key of the point of today, working to reinforce this cooperation and try to use this incredible important moment, which are in the Common Agricultural Policy reform. We have just started the debate. As you know, we are not in the conclusion. The Commissioner Phil Hogan present this proposal, this legislative proposal, but we will be not able to conclude in this legislative time. So this proposal will be debated. We are going to present our report. Our 3 rapporteurs is working for that. Then we will have probably 1,000 and 1,000 amendments, but we will not conclude before the European election. That means that we have a time to work together and to try to have a benefit of this discussion of the future of common agricultural policy to link with the Park and Nature 2000 and all the way how Europarks can work to implement this good cooperation between farmers and rural areas. So thank you again, and thank you for this shortly my presentation. And now I would like to leave the floor to the President of Europark Federation, Mr. Ignazio Schops. Ignazio, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. De Castro, and thank you for hosting us here. I think we are very happy to have you here as a Vice Chair of the Agricultural Committee of the European Parliament. And I know you do a lot of effort to bring protected areas and farmers closest together in these rural areas. Of course, we have to know that protected areas and rural areas and agriculture and climate change is very, very important. So that's why we are here as well on our celebration of our charter parks, of course. I don't know if you know, but we are now in a very specific moment in time, because in Sharm el-Sheikh in Egypt, it's the last day of the Convention on Biological Diversity, so they come to their conclusions, how to go forward after 2020 to halt the loss of biodiversity. And on Monday, the COP24 in Katowice in Poland will start on climate change. With a big ambition, because yesterday Commissioner Cañete for Climate, he announced that Europe would like to become the first major economy in 2050 to become carbon neutral. So I think the EU is really outspoken in their ambition towards, let's say, the integration of protected areas, the rural community within the wider society of Europe. And I think we have to embrace that and try to work along with the EU to make this happen. But today we are here for a celebration. We are here to celebrate the charter parks, and we have divided our program this morning in 2 big parts with an, let's say, an intermezzo of the launch of a film. It is slightly different than it was announced in the program, because we firstly give the floor to the members of the European Parliament. Then normally at about 10 o'clock we hope to launch the film, and then afterwards we go for the experiences for the charter parks that are in the program out of the Canary Islands and out of Italy. So with no further ado, I would like to ask the next speaker to the floor, MEP Julie Ward. I don't know if she...
No, it's not yet arrived.
Is not yet arrived, but is...
And Giovanni Lavia is coming.
Is coming, is not arrived. So then, just simply, we go on with the Canary Islands. So I would like to ask Conchi to the floor, if she's here. Conchi, please come over to here, and then you can start your presentation until we wait for the members of the European Parliament to come.
former president of Environmental Committee. Today he's a member. And Jaguar, I think, too, is coming. So, Joseph, I would like Ignazio to ask. Thank you very much.
Yes.
And before she starts, I'm leaving.
Yes, for sure.
Thank you very much. Say, please, hello to Enzo.
I will do that.
He's a very good friend. He's a former MEPS here.
Yeah, okay. Okay, they are trying to, please come forward. Yeah. So you have seen that Mr. De Castro has left the room because it is voting day today, so it's a very busy day for him. So, but now, please take a seat. You have the front seat.
Pero mejor no sentarnos. Como quieras. Sí, es preferible no sentarnos. Sí, para ahora. Sí, para la traducción. Gracias.
Yes, so I would like to give the floor to, now I have to read, Conchi Fagundo Garcia from the Garonay National Park in Spain.
Yes.
So you will have the floor.
Okay, gracias. Buenos días. Buenos días. ¿Sí? ¿Se oye? ¿Sí? Sí. Buenos días. El monte y el silbo gomero son dos tesoros de la isla que tienen una vida paralela.
The mountain and the Siglo Gomero are two treasures of the island that have a parallel life.
Sus habitantes han hecho un buen uso, pero también un desuso que los ha puesto en peligro.
Their habitants make a really good using of the Siglo Gomero, but also at the same time they use it in a problematic way, and that can make a problem for them.
Finalmente, han trabajado para su recuperación y para ser patrimonios mundiales de la humanidad.
Finally, they work to be for their recuperation and for being humanity heritage.
El monte es Parque Nacional de Garajonay y ha tenido un papel muy importante en el bienestar de los gomeros.
The mountain is part of the national park, and it's really important. You have a really important role for the park itself.
Existe una conciencia colectiva como motor económico y como abastecedor de agua.
It's existing a really important behavior for like economic influencer and how it increased the water power.
El silbo se usó y lo haremos en la presentación como se ha venido usando en La Gomera.
We are going to present the silbo as it was in the tradition, and after is going to be a representation of it.
Para las labores diarias. Para las labores diarias.
For everyday life and work.
Como aviso.
As to remind people, to make alert people.
Para burlar a las autoridades de la isla.
To make fun of the authority of the island.
Hoy se enseña, se estudia y se investiga.
Today we study, we investigate of it, and they're using it.
La música que oiremos en el vídeo es la tradicional de la isla.
The music that we are going to listen to the video, it's the traditional one that they were using in the past.
Y en el último momento, el silbador silbará en inglés.
And the last final moments, the silbador is going to do it in English.
Okay. ¿Ponemos el vídeo?
Yeah, thanks.
Pero apagamos, sí. Esto lo tenemos que apagar.
Okay, thank you. Whistling into the future, it's so beautiful. I think it's so beautiful also that this is World Heritage combined with protected areas. This is yeah, really powerful, I think. Meanwhile, we have also another esteemed guest who has arrived. MEP Julie Ward has arrived from the Cult Committee, and she also has not a long time to be with us, but I'm so happy that you're here, Julie, because it's the International Year of Culture this year, and of course there is a major link between tourism and nature. So I would like to give you the floor.
I think I'd know, wouldn't you? Okay. Right, thank you very much. It was amazing to walk into this room and to see and hear that incredible evocation of humanity. And so I want to thank you for bringing that into the Parliament, for bringing that into the heart of the decision-making, policy-making body in the European Parliament. I think as MEPs, we need to be really, really connected with the work that we're doing. That means we need to know it. You know, we need to have a feel for what we are trying to protect, what we're trying to promote, the things that we're trying to stand up for. So it's important for us to go out and to see these places, to feel them, but actually also amazing and really important when you bring that work here as well to us. I was thinking, you know, before I was elected, I used to work in arts and culture. I'm a theatre maker, I'm a poet. I'm living in a very small rural community in the North Pennines, which is an area of outstanding natural beauty, England's forgotten wilderness, extraordinary place, come sometime. And I was doing theatre projects with some of the most deprived young people you can imagine, because this is also an ex-coal mining area, completely forgotten about. London and Westminster never looked to these places. And a lot of the projects that I was doing were out in the environment, were connecting with nature. And I kind of realized something about young people and learning. And that is, they really love to play. So theatre, creativity, culture is often about play. But they also love to be outdoors too. And when you connected those two things together, actually, it was amazing. And you could have the best ambassadors for these sites, for these extraordinary sites of these natural sites and cultural heritage sites. Now, I didn't come with those notes, actually. Okay, that's something very personal that I just wanted to share with you. So I'm really pleased that you gave me the opportunity to speak at this Charter Award ceremony, both because I'm a member of the Education and Culture Committee, because it is the European Year of Cultural Heritage, but also I'm a strong supporter of sustainable development. Whenever I see the word growth in any of the texts that we're putting forward for discussion, debate, for voting, I put the word sustainable in front of it. Okay, I'm trying to change the language of the Parliament of the EU, because we cannot have growth without sustainability. And now we have the Sustainable Development Goals, and therefore everybody, it's not just that therefore other countries very far away that maybe don't have the same GDP as us. Actually, sustainable development is for everybody. So to have sustainable tourism as part of that is really important. Well, the purpose of the European Year of Cultural Heritage is to promote Europe's cultural heritage and to reinforce a sense of belonging to a common European space. And that is about embracing an incredible diversity in our history. We have lots of battles here in the European Parliament because some people have a very narrow-minded view about what our cultural heritage consists of, and will only tell you that it's European, that it's a Christian heritage. And you know the civilizations that go back so many thousands of years here in Europe mean that we have a diversity of cultures, a diversity of traditions, a diversity of faiths, a diversity of ethnicities. I live really near Hadrian's Wall, and we had black soldiers there, and people will tell you that there is no diversity, that, you know, it's that if you like, white Britain is what Britain is about. And we have evidence, you know, because the Romans, when the Romans came, they brought with them the soldiers they had trained, they brought with them the slaves they had released, you know. So we have to counter this terrible, narrow narrative about what it means to be European and about what our heritage truly is. So the fact that cultural heritage comes in many shapes and forms, including natural cultural heritage, is really important. And activities organised in the context of the initiative being framed around 4 key principles is really important. So innovation, engagement, I've talked about that already, my own experiences with young people, protection, and this really, really important word, sustainability. And that means that at the highest political levels, the link between cultural heritage, nature, sustainability is recognised. And your charter is part of that. It's a really concrete, evidence that the sector itself is doing something about this. It's also my view that cultural education should encompass specific appreciation for the lands that we live in and the places that we visit in other countries. That cultural education is as much part of our culture than, if you like, man-made cultural appliances and gadgets. So again, this connection, this feeling, I think, because you know, you really have to feel something if you're going to defend it, don't you? You know, if you're going to go out and protest about fracking, you know, the minute we have, like, the British government decided they're going to allow fracking, and they're allowing it in one of my regions, which has some extraordinary, really beautiful natural heritage. So if you're going to defend that, you really have to understand why it matters, why it's so important. If you want to stop light pollution in the Geopark near where I live, because it has the most extraordinary dark skies, you really have to understand and know why that matters. You know, when I was home last weekend, and I hardly ever get home, I saw the Northern Lights from my house. And I saw the Northern Lights from my house because because we stopped a lot of light pollution. So this is important. And we're seeing how important it is to care for this natural environment, to know it and to cherish it. Our flora and fauna is endangered in many, many places. These fragile ecosystems, which rely on having a diversity of agriculture. So when, for example, we have fields of rapeseed, you know, like that yellow kind of stuff everywhere, we're losing some of our incredible natural heritage. And I know that in the area of outstanding natural beauty that is the North Pennines National Park in the UK, where I live, that there is a really, really unique alpine flora. And actually, as a poet, I worked on a project with children and young people in schools to help them to know this extraordinary, unique flora. So working with young people, working with the community, for me, that's part of citizenship education. And that is also part of a broader understanding of occupational literacy. Now, if you haven't heard that word occupational literacy before, I'm starting to use it in a lot of my work. For me, it's an idea, a concept that can apply to every single person, every single kind of community that you could ever understand. It's about knowing how to spend our time, okay? And so it doesn't matter if you're talking about a young person or somebody who's retired early, somebody who doesn't have a job, somebody who's maybe doing 3 jobs because they can't afford, they can't afford to pay the rent on 0 hours contract. For me, everybody should be schooled in, should understand about quality time, knowing how to spend their time. And so when we have these amazing organizations working in cultural heritage, working with volunteers as well is also part of that, okay, giving some opportunities for occupational literacy. And current and future generations are indeed, in the context of a fast-changing economy, where we've got digitization of societies and robotization and automation of jobs, these other forms of education that go far beyond, if you like, ordinary school rote learning. These are the things that people are going to need when they're preparing for the jobs market, because what we need is transferable skills. We need people to feel confident in who they are, in their identity. We need them to be able to work with all kinds of people, problem solving. And so young people who are prepared to go out and engage with that wider community actually become the young people who are better prepared for the future. Thank you very much for being here today, for giving for giving me a very emotional experience this first thing this morning. That's important because Michel Barnier is here, because we're talking about the complete tragedy and devastation that is Brexit. But is there anybody here from the UK? Okay, keep fighting, folks, okay? Right, we know it's a disaster, and we know that people didn't vote against Brussels. Okay, it was a protest vote. And now we see in the UK the tide is turning. So take back to the UK these really important stories about what the EU really does, about the important work that we do here and how we can bring people together rather than live in a world of isolation. Because for sustainability, we need more partnerships, not less. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Julie Ward. Thank you for your lovely and connecting words. Also, she has to leave. It's a busy day, as I said already by Mr. Di Castro himself as well. And we have a third, I think, important guy who would like to welcome us for the Charter Award ceremony, and is Giovanni La Via. He is the member of the Committee of the Environment, Public Health and Food Safety. Also for him, I think it is also a very busy day, but we are so pleased that you could find the time to address us on our ceremony coming from you to this audience. You have the floor.
As everybody knows, today we have an important debate in the plenary because we are discussing about Brexit. And the discussion on Brexit today, it is very important, not only for the people coming from the United Kingdom, but especially for the other members of the 27 member states who want to continue to work together, also in the environmental, on environmental issues, but we want to work and to have a good relation with the UK. It is not an easy work to find a possible agreement, but now we have a text on the table and we are going to discuss, and we are discussing the text. But I return back to our issues that are probably more important in a long-term view, also because I hope that the UK will be back in a short time. But okay, this is another issue. And then I return back on the title, on the subject that you give me to speak today, that is the relation between the environment and the Common Agricultural Policy. I am the rapporteur of the Common Agricultural Policy in the European Parliament in the ENVI Committee, and we are discussing about the role of agriculture for protecting environment, for protecting biodiversity and so on. The new proposal coming from the European Commission, it is on the table, and we are discussing it in the committee, in the Parliament, and in the Council. It is clear that we are not going to close the discussion within this legislative period, and we are discussing if it is better to have a final vote in the plenary and the position of the Parliament before the end of May, or if it is better not to have a final vote and only to discuss the issue and to start and restart another time the discussion under the new Commission and with a new Parliament. As you know, the legislative process in the Parliament, it is made in two different phases. First of all, we receive a Commission proposal. Later, we make our reading of a proposal, and at the end of our reading, after the vote in the plenary, we start to negotiate with the Council for achieving the final agreement and to vote a final text that will be the new regulation within the European Union. But for achieving this, we need to close the discussion in the Parliament with a final vote in the plenary, and it is a common opinion that we are not going to have the final vote before the end of this legislative period. It is too short. We are seeing that in the ENVI committee we started the discussion some months ago. We are receiving now, we are waiting for the translation of my proposal of changes of a Commission proposal, and later we are going to have the discussion, the amendment, and the final vote in the committee. It is clear that the proposal of the Commission, it is very environmental friendly in terms of a lot of points in which we are going to underline the importance of the environment in the common agricultural policy. This is the reason for which in the first pillar, in the direct payment, we are going to have a strong conditionality. That does it mean that if farmers want to take the money from the first pillar, they have to move for our environment, they have to do more environmental practices, and so on. On the second pillar, we maintain the agro-environmental measure that we have in the previous legislation on rural development, but in the first pillar, we are going to cancel the greening that we have before, and we add the eco-scheme. The eco-scheme is quite different from the previous greening, and we hope that the proposal of the Commission can work better than in the past, the greening measures. The result of the previous common agricultural policies was not the best. It was clear that we had administrative burden in the past, but the result in environmental terms, it was not the best. For this reason, we are going to change, we are going to make some proposal of changes, and we hope to have at the end a better and more environmental friendly common agricultural policy. On the other side, I have to underline that in terms of fight against and support of biodiversity, we are working in the European Parliament, and I think that the issue it is very, very important for your organization, because we strongly support the defense of biodiversity. And we know well that we have not done enough, and we need to support new policies in all the international conference that we follow. It is important to underline that we are not in line with the forecast, and we are going to lose biodiversity, and this is not possible to accept. We want to make some additional effort in the new pluriannual framework, multi-annual financial framework, that is our multi-annual budget, in which we have not specific line for defending biodiversity. We need more, we need additional effort, and we have to work together. I think that some meeting like this one can help all of us for receiving additional information, for giving us the correct support for making good proposal in the new legislative terms for achieving better result. We are open to discuss, and we are in strict contact with your international organization, and we receive sometimes some good proposal to insert in our legislation. On the other hand, I want to only to underline that we are at the end of a legislative period. We are closing the legislative package that we have opened on the table, and we are working for the new terms. There is a strong effort across all the European institutions in favor of the environment, but sometimes we need to be supported from outside for having more ambition and for achieving better result. I close here my intervention, and I'm sorry not to follow your movie later, but we have a debate on Brexit, as you know. It is an important one in the European Parliament. Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you, Mr. Giovanni La Via. I think there were crucial words for sure on the common agricultural policy, which needs to bridge with biodiversity and with protected areas, which I think let's say the ongoing meetings are really meeting that goal, even better than the last policy on this. So we are very happy with it, and we are very open to help you and all the members of the European Parliament in this debate. And I would say also welcome to Enzo Lavara, who is a colleague in the Council of Europark Federation, and he is very experienced on this topic on bridging protected areas and agriculture. Like I said, being here as Europark Federation, it is important because we would like to work along with the EU on making that new, let's say, bridge to the future, a sustainable future for all inhabitants of Europe, and of course, hopefully included with the UK and the Brexit debate is of course one of the big debates we have nowadays. But it is an important time now to make a very beautiful film on how beautiful our nature, our protected areas are, and I would like to give the floor to do the introduction to Carol Ritchie, who is the Executive Director of Europark Federation. Carol, you have the floor.
Good morning, everyone. Appreciating the value of nature is the first act towards creating a sustainable world. We're here in the heart of the European Parliament to celebrate the success of parks across Europe, for your recognition and all that you have done to secure our future nature, our future agriculture, our future rural development, and our culture, as we heard through the whistling of the Silbo Gomera. But you choose to do that sustainably, and you choose to do that in partnership with your communities, with your businesses. And that's what we recognise today. You're on a sustainable journey. The destination may be unclear, but the process of bringing everyone together in that journey is what's actually more important. Now, we had a fantastic opportunity as Europark, as the Europark Federation, engaged in the CETO project, the Central European Ecotourism Project, Tools for Nature Protection, a project that's funded through the Interreg Central Europe Fund, the European Regional Development Fund. And it's an excellent and exciting project led by Emilia-Romagna that we're a part of with 11 other partners to really bring those tools for nature protection to the fore and to get that message across about making more sustainable choices, particularly for sustainable tourism. The project has enabled us to bring a BAFTA award-winning filmmaker into our family to help create a new film for us. And Keith Partridge was able, through his expertise behind the camera and through the lenses, to capture what I hope is the best of our landscapes, of our 2 charter parks that we selected, who are there to represent you all. Le Mercantour National Park in France and Alpi-Maritime Regional Park in Italy. And I thank them for their graciousness and hospitality in enabling us to make this film. The film takes a sustainable journey, and it takes a traveller who's perhaps a little bit stressed about Brexit and everything else that's going on in our cluttered and busy world that we live in. But he realises that he wants to make a choice that's good for nature but good for people too. And what kind of rest and holiday can he take? What are the sustainable tourism choices out there? And hopefully the film will help you see that. Because we do want to show positive, constructive work that's happening in your charter parks. So I would encourage you, as the partners of the CETO project have done, each have created a small teaser film which shows the sustainable tourism that's happening in their area. And I encourage you to use this film too as a vehicle to promote the fantastic sustainable tourism work that's happening across the charter parks of Europe. So as we launch the European premiere of our film this morning, I encourage you all to take a sustainable journey, to take time to breathe, to reflect, to explore, and to respect our environment. We ask everyone to be aware of the need to be more conscious of taking care of our natural environment. As we do at home, we need to do so too on holiday. We need to remember that we're being welcomed into someone else's nature and we're using the resources of another place. I'd like to invite tourists, local communities and businesses to make choices that make a positive impact on the environment, on our culture and on our economy. So when you're choosing your next holiday, look for places like our charter parks where everyone is working together to provide an authentic, quality and sustainable experience. So I invite you now to take a sustainable journey that's good for nature and good for people. Thank you. It's coming. I hope you enjoy the next 9 minutes. Take a moment to think about your own sustainable journey.
This year sees the earliest breakup of polar ice on record in the east of England. Scientists.
Crop failures due to ever extreme weather events.
The big getaway is set to begin with more people than ever looking to spend their money wisely.
Health officials say that the system is under increasing pressure.
Moi, je crois que de plus en plus, il y a un grand mouvement où on cherche l'authentique, le vrai, le simple, pouvoir respirer, bien dormir, bien manger, des choses simples aussi, et puis découvrir.
Pour moi, c'est un lieu d'expérimentation où on peut créer, inventer, jouer. Et c'est aussi un endroit où on peut entretenir ce lien avec la nature, avec soi-même et avec les autres.
Per cui non ci sono possibilità quasi di contaminazione, di inquinamento del polline, del nettare e per i prodotti che poi ricavano le api dai fiori. Allo stesso modo, in questo ambiente decisamente integro, la possibilità di produrre un miele che in poche altre situazioni è possibile realizzare per via della quota, della fioritura, poi siamo all'interno di un'area protetta e di conseguenza anche il valore aggiunto che questo rappresenta per il miele, perché è sicuramente un elemento distintivo in più per il prodotto.
Spero che un domani i miei figli continuino a fare questo lavoro. Magari li aiuterò come da tradizione, perché il nostro mestiere non si ferma mai, va sempre avanti, non vedi l'età, però c'è, e continui a lavorare. Ma è molto importante lavorare col parco, perché anche se ci sono delle piccole regole da rispettare, ma è giusto che ci siano, il paesaggio va rispettato, altrimenti andrebbe distrutta la montagna.
Donc c'est un retour à la nature. Et ce retour à la nature, tout de suite, il fait beaucoup effet aux personnes, on le voit directement. Ça leur permet de se poser, de se reconnecter. Pour eux, je pense que ça inspire beaucoup et ça permet aussi du coup de se poser des questions sur voilà, le sens de leur vie.
Il faut aussi des lieux comme ça, qui soient préservés, qui ne soient pas dans le bruit, dans la cohue, dans aller plus vite, prendre son temps, se poser. Oui, l'esprit de montagne, c'est on se dit bonjour. Voilà, c'est naturel.
Ho cercato di aiutare gli operatori del posto a capire quali fossero i principi della sostenibilità, perché per me erano qualcosa di fondamentale per poter valorizzare questo posto. Il motto che ho scelto per quella struttura è stato un progetto da condividere. Quindi la condivisione, la rete, ma la rete sotto tutti gli aspetti, la rete che si costituisce tra operatori turistici, la rete che si costituisce con la comunità locale, nel rispetto della comunità locale, e la rete che si costituisce con il territorio che ti accoglie. Proprio contenti che qualcheduno venisse sul territorio e piano piano desse valore, desse significato a quello che è loro, un orgoglio, proprio un senso di appartenenza che veniva trasferito esteriormente. La cosa speciale di questo posto io penso che sia quella di poter rallentare, di poter seguire il ritmo delle stagioni, il ritmo che ci viene dato un po' dalla natura e non essere condizionati da orari. Riusciamo ad avere un tipo di vita che ci fa star bene.
You don't have to see it again. I mean, I enjoy watching it, but... So that film is available now. It's out there in the World Wide Web. Please look out for it. It's available in 5 languages: English, French, Spanish, Italian and German. So you can see your own version. Please use it widely to promote UREC's sustainable tourism activities in your park. And please, I hope that we can get those messages out there of what our values are and the need to make more sustainable choices. So I thank you for your attention, and I hope you will enjoy and share the film as widely as possible.
Thank you, Carol. You made the perfect bridge, because we would like to bring one or share one Charter Parks experience to you as an audience today. It's from the Dune Costiere Park in Italy, where nature is connecting tourism and agriculture to create a vibrant rural area. And I would like to give him the floor, and would like to invite him on the floor here, Gianfranco Ciola from the Dune Costiere Regional Park in Italy. So Gianfranco, you have the floor.
Per andare avanti con le slide, come faccio?
Ok, l'esperienza del Parco delle Dune Costiere in Puglia è un'esperienza che fa riferimento al rapporto tra agricoltura e turismo. Vediamo se funziona. Vai Simonetta. No, no, stanno là. E il parco è inserito tra due torri costiere, quella di Torre Canne e Torre San Leonardo. Ok.
Alors, bonjour. Je vais parler en français, exposer les contenus de ce parc, ce qu'on fait, ce qui est l'animation du parc surtout, notamment. C'est un parc qui se déroule le long de la côte des Pouilles. C'est vraiment dans la péninsule de Salento. C'est la partie la plus basse de la région des Pouilles. C'est un parc assez long. Et donc on a une partie le long de la côte, mais surtout on a une partie qui est à l'intérieur, c'est la partie agricole. Donc on va parler soit de la partie, disons que exploite, mais met en valeur la côte et le tourisme de la mer, mais aussi la partie agricole qui met en valeur la production agricole, qui met en valeur tout ce qui est le réseau des agriculteurs, notamment des jeunes agriculteurs, parce que c'est un parc qui est caractérisé surtout par la présence de jeunes agriculteurs qui, on va voir quelles sont les activités principales. Donc là, vous voyez le plan du parc. Vous voyez vraiment l'articulation au niveau de la planimétrie. Donc c'est ce qu'on peut revenir en arrière. On voit vraiment comment le parc rentre dans la terre, dans la partie terrestre. Et le long de la côte, on a aussi un marais, une partie qui se développe dans un marais, dans la partie humide. Donc, il y a aussi tous les atouts environnementaux qui font vraiment un sujet très, très particulier, très intéressant sur la migration des oiseaux et sur les pêches. Vous voyez là, c'est la partie de la zone humide. Et aussi, on développe un élevage de poissons d'eau douce. Et là, on met en valeur aussi la pêche. Donc, il y a, vous voyez là, la partie agricole, la partie touristique liée à la mer, à la plage, et la partie liée à la pêche. Là, on voit vraiment la caractéristique spécifique, c'est les oliviers. Et les oliviers, la plaine des oliviers. Et le parc a fait, il y a des années, une démarche concernant la constitution d'un parc d'oliviers séculaires, parce que dans le parc, il y a des oliviers qui datent au moins de 500, 600, même 800 ans, donc 8 siècles, disons, des oliviers. Et vous voyez là des oliviers géants, et c'est des êtres vivants dont les gens, les agriculteurs, les appellent par nom, deux fois. Ils sont là depuis vraiment des générations, donc ils font partie vraiment des biens monumentaux du paysage. Le même paysage est constitué aussi par la présence de centres historiques. On a vu avant, dans la photographie avant, on a vu le centre historique de Ostuni, c'est la ville blanche comme on l'appelle, c'est la ville qui est vraiment au milieu du parc. Et là, on voit des grottes, on voit toute la partie préhistorique qui insiste dans le parc, qui est, disons,
qui caractérise l'installation anthropique à l'intérieur du parc. Aussi, dans la partie agricole, il y a tous les élevages de brebis. Il y a des espèces zootechniques très spécifiques, très particulières. C'est des brebis, vous les voyez, ça s'appelle la Moscia leccese. C'est une race de brebis qui vit juste ici. Et donc, on est très fiers d'avoir amené réintroduit cette espèce. Vous voyez là aussi toutes ces constructions qui sont très caractéristiques, on dirait qu'on est au Mexique. C'est des fermes, en fait, masseries, elles s'appellent. C'est des masseries souvent sont fortifiées. Et aussi, il y a toute la partie des nécropoles, les sites archéologiques, qui insiste aussi à l'intérieur du périmètre du parc. Donc, on a vraiment un panorama très diversifié dans le parc. Et le parc est aussi traversé par la Via Traiana. La Via Traiana, c'est une voie romaine qui fut construite dans la période romaine, donc qui liait Rome à Brindisi. Donc cette voie, cette route ancienne il y a 2000 ans, traverse le parc et fait l'objet d'un site archéologique très très important. Et donc la partie archéologique aussi est mise en valeur et constitue avec, vous voyez là un dolmen, c'est un système trilithique de la préhistoire, comme Stonehenge. C'est pas la même importance, mais disons que c'est la même époque et c'est le même esprit qui habitait ce territoire. En même temps, oui.
Ok, posso dire qualcosa?
Sì?
Grazie. In questo contesto così articolato, praticamente la componente umana è la componente più importante, in quanto è generatori, come dire, di bellezza e custodi di paesaggio. Okay? Sì. Okay.
Et donc, dans ce paysage, la composante humaine, c'est aussi un principe fondateur, parce que c'est le principe fondateur du paysage, donc c'est le producteur du paysage.
È un sistema integrato tra attività umane e aspetti naturalistici.
Donc c'est un système intégré entre l'activité humaine et tous les aspects naturalistes.
E come gran parte dei parchi, anche qui era costituito un comitato di lotta contro il parco.
Et en même temps, ici, il y avait un comité qui luttait contre la constitution du parc.
Questa è una foto del comitato.
Et ça, c'est une photo du comité contre la constitution du parc.
E molti di loro sono coloro che collaborano con il parco e hanno il marchio del parco.
Et maintenant, la plupart entre eux, c'est des gens qui collaborent avec le parc et qui ont gagné disons le marque du parc.
C'è stato un piano di attività, compreso quello della informazione e sensibilizzazione della comunità locale.
Il y a eu une campagne d'information, de sensibilisation de toute la communauté locale.
La formazione degli operatori.
Et on a formé les opérateurs.
Sì, possiamo sì. E così come anche il recupero di luoghi abbandonati, come una vecchia stazione ferroviaria.
Et il y a aussi la récupération de lieux abandonnés à l'intérieur du parc, comme une vieille gare de train.
Dove si svolgono numerose attività di sensibilizzazione, innanzitutto rivolte alla comunità locale.
Et à l'intérieur de ces lieux, on fait plusieurs activités de sensibilisation et activités culturelles aussi pour la communauté locale.
Pur essendo un parco costiero, facciamo attività soprattutto nel resto dell'anno, dei periodi dell'anno, tranne l'estate.
Et même, comme on disait tout à l'heure, même s'il s'agit d'un parc costier, on fait des activités pendant tout le long de l'année. Donc, il y a la diversification de l'offre de fruition du parc.
Sia lungo le spiagge, con i bagnanti, che nelle aree interne.
Soit le long des plages et soit dans la partie rurale à l'intérieur du parc.
Non promuoviamo il mare, perché è troppo facile, ma promuoviamo le aree rurali interne.
On ne fait pas la promotion de la mer et des plages parce que ce serait trop facile, mais on mise surtout sur la promotion des espaces à l'intérieur, des espaces ruraux.
Anche attraverso il recupero di vecchie varietà coltivate,
On fait
lo
aussi,
scambio di conoscenze,
on récupère aussi des anciennes cultures abandonnées, on fait des échanges de connaissances, de savoirs.
e attraverso uno stretto rapporto con la comunità locale, soprattutto degli agricoltori, che si è rafforzata durante la realizzazione della CEZ.
Mais c'est surtout l'échange, la relation avec toute la communauté locale qui a permis et qui a fait en sorte que le parcours de création de réseau nous amène vraiment à la CEZ, à la charte.
Sì, tutti gli incontri si sono svolti a casa degli agricoltori, nelle loro aziende.
Et toutes ces rencontres ont eu lieu vraiment dans les maisons des agriculteurs, dans leurs maisons et chez eux, dans leurs campagnes, voilà, dans les fermes.
Oltre 40 sono le aziende che hanno il marchio del parco e sono anche certificate CEZ.
Et donc maintenant, aujourd'hui, c'est 40 entreprises qui ont le marque du parc et qui sont rentrées dans la CEZ, dans la charte.
Lo scopo era quello di risolvere situazioni critiche presenti in gran parte dei territori, come quelle che potete vedere.
Et cela nous a permis de résoudre des énormes problèmes, comme dans les photos que vous pouvez voir, il y avait des problèmes dans le territoire. Et cette démarche de partage, de concertation, de partage, nous a permis de pouvoir résoudre ces criticità.
E questo può essere fatto solo attraverso la partecipazione degli operatori, sia presenti sulla costa che nelle aree interne.
Donc c'est avec le partage, avec tous les stakeholders, soit sur la côte, soit dans la partie agricole, c'est le partage qui nous a permis vraiment de faire ensemble en sorte qu'il n'y ait plus de problèmes comme avant.
Dalla chiusura dei varchi abusivi sulla costa alla pulizia anche della plastica.
Les voitures se garaient sur la côte carrément. Et ils jetaient des poubelles sur la plage, de partout aussi dans la campagne, des déchets d'agricolture. Maintenant, c'est fini.
Dalla demolizione anche di fabbricati abusivi che sono diventati centro visite del parco poi.
Et aussi, on a démoli des bâtiments légaux et qui ne devaient pas être là. Et certaines sont devenues la maison du parc, en fait.
Alla realizzazione anche di la descrizione dell'importanza storica e culturale della via Francigena, quindi della via Traiana, che attraversa il parco.
On a travaillé aussi sur la via Francigena, c'est la voie qui lie Saint-Michel à Jérusalem, donc qui passe sur le tracé de la voie Traiana et passe à l'intérieur du parc. On a travaillé aussi sur les chemins, en fait.
Al collegamento con le aree archeologiche presenti nelle vicinanze, come l'area archeologica di Ignazia dove passa la Traiana.
Et on a travaillé aussi sur la liaison, le réseau avec tous les sites archéologiques.
All'integrazione treno più bici con l'allestimento delle stazioni ferroviarie come centri visita del parco.
Et on a travaillé aussi sur l'intermodalité. Et donc le transport léger, le vélo et les transports publics qui traversent le parc et qui lient les centres-villes au parc.
Okay. Così come anche il recupero delle ex case cantoniere per diventare appunto luogo per ospitare cicloturisti, in questo caso una casa cantoniera che contiene 18 posti letto e una ciclo-officina.
Il y a des vieux bâtiments qui étaient censés faire la manutention des routes, qui sont des bâtiments qui ne sont plus utilisés. On l'a reprise, réhabilité. Maintenant, ce sont des hôtels de jeunesse qui travaillent aussi avec le vélo, avec toutes les activités liées au vélo.
Facciamo il monitoraggio di tutti i passaggi dei ciclisti nelle aree rurali lungo la via Traiana.
Et on travaille beaucoup avec les vélos et les cyclistes et on fait un monitorage de tout ce qui est le trafic, qui traverse, tous les cyclistes qui traversent la voie Traiana.
E collaboriamo con tutte le associazioni cicloturistiche e cicloescursionistiche per favorire la penetrazione delle aree rurali affinché possano essere visitate, conosciute e quindi essere luogo dove promuovere le produzioni del territorio.
On fait aussi un très grand travail avec le monde des associations civiques liées au vélo et pour favoriser et mettre en valeur la pénétration dans le parc et la constitution d'un échange avec ce qui est la production dans le parc et la visite par les transports environnementale.
Sì, e facciamo anche attività di incontro e formazione con gli operatori economici per risolvere quei problemi critici che abbiamo visto.
Et donc là, on voit tous les rencontres, en fait, les tables de concertation et tout ce que c'est possible de faire pour résoudre tous les problèmes, parce qu'il y a des criticités encore qui subsistent dans le parc. Et cela, on essaie de résoudre ça avec, vraiment en parlant avec les gens, en parlant avec les opérateurs et tous les stakeholders.
Perché un parco non è solo una cartolina che fa vedere il meglio di sé, ma è un luogo dove ci sono tanti anche problemi su cui insieme alla comunità locale occorre recuperare. Abbiamo recuperato dalle foto che abbiamo visto prima 34 discariche, piccole discariche, che con la collaborazione degli operatori sono diventate delle aree di sosta.
Et on a récupéré avec la communauté. En fait, on fait le travail avec la communauté locale parce qu'un parc n'est pas une carte postale. Un parc, c'est un territoire qui a ses criticités, ses atouts. Et donc, c'est avec la communauté locale qu'on fait un travail de récupération. Même on est arrivé à récupérer 34 décharges qui n'étaient pas autorisées et on les a transformées. Vous voyez là les photos, avant c'était des décharges et maintenant c'est des lieux en fait, des lieux privilégiés de fruition du parc.
Perché rappresentano un biglietto da visita del territorio e avendo poche risorse economiche come parchi regionali dobbiamo ingegnarci nell'attività di volontariato con la comunità locale.
Et ces lieux sont carrément devenus des cartes de visite du parc et on le fait, là, on souligne l'importance du partage avec la communauté locale parce qu'on a très peu de revenus en tant que parcs régionaux. Et donc, on fait ça, des ressources, disons, économiques. Donc, on fait ça avec de bénévoles de la part des communautés locales et on fait ça avec eux et c'est avec eux qu'on a bâti un réseau d'excellence dans le parc.
Tra cui i pescatori che gestiscono le zone umide costiere sono i veri protagonisti del parco.
Et là, les protagonistes sont devenus, par exemple, la communauté de pêcheurs qui font plein d'activités de mise en valeur du parc.
Coloro che lo raccontano, il parco.
Et c'est eux qui racontent, en fait, le parc.
Così come tanti eventi che servono per raccontare le produzioni del territorio.
On fait aussi plein d'événements publics de nature divulgative, de sensibilisation aussi culturelle et poétique qui sont censés raconter l'esprit du parc.
Perché se un agricoltore molla o cessa la propria attività, ci siamo giocati pezzi di territori importanti come quelli che abbiamo visto, per cui occorre tenerli non in un palmo ma in 2 palmi di mano.
Parce qu'en fait, c'est les agriculteurs qui tiennent ensemble, qui sont la force de cohésion du parc. Et si eux lâchent prise, le parc n'existe plus. Donc, vraiment, on garde les agriculteurs d'une façon très soigneuse, on pourrait dire. On se soigne des agriculteurs parce que c'est grâce à eux que le parc existe.
Molte imprese sono sorte come quelle che producono miele, producono saponi da erbe officinali e altre invece facciamo tante altre attività legate anche alla promozione dei prodotti come eventi artistici nelle aree rurali.
Et donc on a vu avant, on avait vu le miel, les savons avec l'huile et les plantes officinelles qui poussent dans le parc. Et à côté de ça aussi, on fait des événements culturels, comme on disait.
Abbiamo chiuso la filiera del grano e della pasta con prodotti bio, con produzione di pasta bio.
À côté de ça, il y a la production de produits bio, du blé notamment. Il y a une variété de blé
Vecchie varietà di grano.
Des anciennes variétés de blé.
Ed è una pasta che ha il marchio del parco, questa.
Et ça, c'est des pâtes orecchiette qui ont le marque du parc.
C'è una comunità di agricoltori che producono fioroni.
Il y a des figuiers, toujours avec le marque.
È stato reintrodotto una vecchia varietà di pomodoro in aridocultura che non ha bisogno di acqua e insieme anche alla coltivazione del cotone.
Et aussi, on travaille avec des cultivars anciens. Par exemple, là, vous voyez à gauche, c'est à gauche, ah oui, à droite. Vous voyez à droite des tomates qui poussent sans eau, parce que les Pouilles, c'est une région assez aride. Et donc, on a récupéré cette cultivar qui était une ancienne cultivation qui ne nécessitait pas d'eau. Et donc on l'a récupéré et en même temps on a récupéré aussi la cultivation du coton parce que, je peux le dire?
Per legare il pomodoro.
L'ancienne façon de garder, de conserver les tomates pendant l'hiver, c'était de les lier avec du coton et de les pendre au mur. Et donc, on a récupéré aussi la cultivation de coton, la fabrication du coton avec laquelle on se charge de confectionner ça.
È stato fatto un presidio slow food che è stato sostenuto dal parco.
Et donc ça, c'est traduit dans un produit certifié, Slow Food, et que c'est un produit typique, spécifique du parc.
Sempre sulla produzione olivicolo-olearia, queste sono le attività che facciamo, molto partecipate per far conoscere il patrimonio degli olivi secolari.
Aussi dans la production de l'huile d'olive, dans tout ce qui est la filière de production de l'huile d'olive, on fait des activités participées avec la communauté locale, on lui informe, on sensibilise les gens sur tout ce qui est le processus de production de...
Per concludere, questo è un programma di attività, quello che attua un parco, complesso e articolato che serve a dare futuro alle generazioni, le nuove generazioni che vivono in un parco, ma anche tutelando, come dire, un patrimonio storico millenario.
Et tout ça, c'est pour lâcher, pour donner un héritage aux générations futures qui, c'est pas un héritage, c'est pas seulement un héritage matériel, mais c'est aussi un héritage culturel, c'est un héritage de transmission de la connaissance, de l'esprit du parc.
Ok, andiamo avanti. Per fare ciò occorre la partecipazione della comunità locale, occorre dare valore al territorio e cominciare, come dire, dal capitale umano presente nel territorio.
Et c'est surtout à partir comme on avait dit, du partage et de la communauté locale qui est l'atout principal. Et c'est surtout sur la communauté locale qu'on mise, c'est vraiment la pointe, disons, du parc, c'est la communauté.
Poi ognuno di noi dopo questo percorso può anche fare 10 passi indietro, ma l'importante è aver innestato nella comunità locale un concetto di difesa et di tutela del proprio patrimonio.
Après, chacun de nous, les opérateurs du parc, on peut faire un pas en arrière, on peut se mettre, comment dire, un peu en retraite. Et c'est pas ça, c'est pas nous l'important. L'important, c'est qu'on a déclenché quelque chose et c'est la communauté qui, après, va s'en occuper, même sans nous. Parce que ça, c'est très important. C'est que sans nous, eux, ils peuvent le faire et nous, sans eux, on ne peut pas le faire.
Ok, grazie.
Thank you for your presentation. I think you gave a good overview of what the Dune Costière Park is all about. I'm ready to come over, I think, and visit it, because you give not only, let's say, an overview of the flavors, but also the challenges of that region. I think it's important to have and exchange that with each other. Before the break, we have just one small change in the program, but before the break, there is another important person here that hasn't had a lot of time, but I would really invite to the floor Christophe Kinel, who is the head of the unit tourism in the Secretariat of Commission for Natural Resources at the European Committee of the Regions. And Christophe is going to tell us what the priorities and the activities are within the Commission for Natural Resources. Christophe, you have the floor.
Thank you so much. Yeah, and thanks a lot for being able to change the program so quickly. I'm on the program at 12:10, and it's at first I thought it was work related, but it's not work related that I have to leave. It's private. I have to pick up my daughter from the crèche. This is why I'm so happy that I can speak now. And it's a bit also maybe not really fitting into the program, but maybe you wonder why I'm on the program and what is the Committee of the Regions, what is the NAT Commission, what are we doing? So the European Committee of the Regions is one of the European institutions. It's an advisory body, and the idea is to make Europe a better place, European laws better, by involving at a very early stage local and regional viewpoints, politicians, into the debates. So whenever there's something going on at EU level, you know, the member from the ENVI committee spoke about the reform of the common agriculture policy, things like that. These proposals, initiatives are also discussed with local and regional politicians from across Europe. And they can put forward suggestions to make it better from the view of the cities and regions. So next week, for example, we have a meeting of the European Committee of the Regions, a plenary session, as we call that, and there will be probably your regional representatives coming to Brussels, or maybe the presidents of Italian regions, or mayors of Portuguese towns, or I'm German. We have lots of also European ministers for European affairs coming to Brussels, and they discuss. So that's the European Committee of the Regions. Then we work a bit like a parliament. There are thematic commissions. One thematic commission is the NAT Commission, which is Natural Resources, where the debates are prepared with not all members of the Committee of the Regions, but like 100 of them. And I'm responsible for the secretariat of this NAT Commission. One of the policy areas is tourism. This is why I'm invited. So we are, when I say we, I mean, of course, the politicians. I'm not a politician, but our politicians are discussing tourism from a local and regional perspective with the aim of making the European initiatives on tourism better. I mean, whatever better means, that's always a political choice. But this is the aim. This is why we organize our debates on tourism here in the NAT Commission. So, and I'm here also to learn more about Europarks, because when we, and again I say we, although it's not really me, it's the politicians, when the politicians are there to have some intelligent proposals to the European level and have some clever ideas, of course they need to know what's going on in the regions and in the cities. And although they are local and regional politicians, they're supposed to know what's happening in their regions. It's always good to have a broader overview, and then I'm responsible for the secretariat, so it's good that also the secretariat knows what's going on in the regions. So because we don't, of course, we don't know that. We're just Brussels officials. So this is why I was sitting here and really following the interesting presentations. Okay, that was the introduction. Just now a bit of the content. So what is the NUT Commission, meaning the politicians from cities and regions, what are they discussing in terms of tourism? There were some reports we prepared in the last year before, with priorities more on, for example, tourism and European heritage. It was the European Year of Cultural Heritage. Of course, tourism plays a major role there. So that was one angle. The other angle was tourism and European citizenship, meaning that by traveling across Europe, citizens should feel that they belong to some joint project, to one continent, to one idea. That was an idea the members of the Committee of the Regions put forward and asked the Commission to to put in place initiatives that would recognize this aim, also with a view to the discussion on the future of Europe and Euroscepticism and so on. Another priority was tourism and cross-border / inter-regional cooperation, so the cooperation between regions across borders, and how can the EU help there? What is the EU doing? What can regions do? And how can this all be put together? That's, of course, very general what we, the politicians, discussed in the last 1 or 2 years. There's a lot more to come, I hope, and the politicians, our politicians, the members, have agreed on some priorities for the future. One would be the whole discussion, I mean, that you're also having on sustainability, tourism and sustainable tourism, which is maybe, I mean, tourists, I mean, they destroy the planet in any case. So there is, I would almost say, it's really difficult to not destroy the planet when you are a tourist, because by traveling, it's already bad for the planet, I would say. So, but of course, we all know that we're not going to stop being tourists, but at least it has to be done in a sustainable way, and we will look at that in more detail in the future. Meaning, we again, the politicians, your politicians that you have elected locally and regionally. Also, over tourism, it's a big topic. Maybe not so much for the parks, but in some areas, some regions, some cities in Europe, we all know them, have enormous problems with too many tourists, and so there are different strategies how to tackle that. Another element, digitalization, not going to speak too much about it, and another element that you have also mentioned in the debate first on before, tourism and rural areas, because there's the rural areas in Europe generally, at least we feel, are not well recognized. They lose more and more in relation to urban areas, and tourism should be, can be, will be one of the means to hopefully tackle parts of that problem. So this is what the European Committee of the Regions, the NUT Commission, the members working on tourism are doing. Thank you very much for the invitation, and I'm really looking forward to future cooperation. I mean, we are always happy to have input from initiatives like yours to know what would you expect from the European Union, what would you expect from local and regional politicians to put forward here. So we can invite Europarks for meetings as speakers to present in the European Committee of the Regions, and I'm very much looking forward to that cooperation. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Mr. Kienel. I think we accept your invitation to come over and to express what we all have to say. I think it's important also that we have the several levels, that we have the European Union, but you have the Committee of the Regions as well, because they're very much connected with the local situation. So I think it's important for Europark Federation and you all that we have both connections healthy, ready for us. So we have had a first long part of debates and experiences for you. So now we have a coffee break. We have a coffee break until 11:30, I think, and then we are expected back here at the venue. Thank you, and enjoy your coffee break. Okay, welcome back, everyone. I think everybody is imagining what is this, the ringing all the time, but that's because the MEPs have to go in for voting, of course. It's not for us. But we agreed on coming back after a coffee break at 11:30, so we are there now for the Charter Awards ceremony. But before that, I would like to give and would like to invite Nicola Notaro to the stage here. He is the head of unit nature protection within DG Environment. And of course, nature conservation and tourism are two things that are very important, and he would like to address us on the challenge, what is there with nature conservation and tourism. So, Nicola, you have the floor.
Thank you very much. Well, first of all, thanks to Europark for the invitation. It's a bit of a tradition to participate to this event from the Commission side, and it's an event I'm particularly attached to myself because, of course, as head of the unit in charge of the Natura 2000 network of protected areas, we have a very close cooperation with Europark. And we try to promote, of course, the economic benefits that derive from protected areas all over Europe, and at the same time to help the member states of the EU to tackle the challenges that relate sometimes to the economic activities that are connected to Natura 2000 sites and to parks all over Europe. I'll take only a few minutes of your time before you go to the, I guess, eagerly awaited attribution of the prize for the rest of the morning. And I want to underline the dimension, the importance of the economic dimension of tourism, and therefore the importance of the work of Europark on the Charter for Sustainable Tourism. We have about 12 million people all over the EU which are employed directly in the tourism sector. We have some figures, some calculations that show that between 2 and 3 million of these jobs are directly related to parks and Natura 2000 areas. So it's a very significant number of jobs that are related to tourism and protected areas. And also we have some figures that show us the value of the recreational visits to Natura 2000 sites in the EU. This is based on the willingness that visitors express to pay in order to access these areas. And of course, there's a big overlap between Natura 2000 sites and parks. So it's estimated that the value of recreational visits, so if you like, the value of this ecosystem service, which is provided by parks and Natura 2000 areas, is about 5 to 9 billion per year. And the actual total expenditure which relate to tourism and recreation supported by the Natura 2000 network is between 50 and 90 billions a year. So there is really a very important economic dimension, asset related to nature protection, and tourism is an essential ecosystem service provided by this area. Of course, we don't value nature just for the economic advantages that it offers, and we value it for its intrinsic value and all the other services that it offers, from water purification and regulation, climate change mitigation, protection against floods, droughts, and all the rest that you are certainly very familiar with. But of course, in times of rather difficult economic situation in many countries, it is important that also from the nature conservation community we are able to put across this economic message. The fact that what we do is not an economic burden, but actually it's an economic opportunity. It's something that needs support because it generates benefit for society at large, and these benefits have a very large, very significant economic value. But of course, it's also a double-edged sword, because if you have an excess of tourism in a single park, in a single area, etc., as you have lived yourself in your professional experience, you can have a negative impact. So there must be a notion of sustainability, a notion of carrying capacity of these areas that must be respected. And I think in this respect, the charter work that Europark has done together with so many parks all over Europe is very helpful, because indeed it helps you keep it within those boundaries of sustainability, so that you don't destroy the very basis, the natural capital, which is the resource that offers so much for nature and also for economic activities. I was reading very recently an article in the Guardian magazine about the impacts of massive tourism in big American national parks, which are huge parks like Yosemite or others. And it is evident when you read this that indeed if the flow of people is not somehow controlled, somehow regulated, it can really erode the natural capital, the basis that you are trying to protect. So it is absolutely important to take an approach which is a bit more strategic. And what I mean by strategic is that parks have to play a role for nature conservation, but also for economic development in partnership with local and regional authorities that have to sit together and develop a strategy. The parks are, in fact, a tool to address other socioeconomic problems, like depopulation of rural areas. And I come myself from an area in southern Italy, which is actually a national park, Parco Nazionale del Cilento. For the Italians in the room, they will be familiar with that. And it's an area which has indeed a big resource in terms of the nature it tries to protect, but also a big economic problem of depopulation and young people leaving, few economic and employment opportunities, and tourism, which is basically only seasonal, only related to the coast. And so parks can offer solutions in that respect, can offer alternative and complementary types of tourism and economic development that can help keep our youth, keep our young population in these areas, to keep them alive, to maintain the nature and to maintain the socio-economic network that existed. Of course, I'm not the best example myself, having left, but obviously we contribute from different levels to the same objective, from the European level to the local level, the regional and national level. And other opportunities for parks, in my view, relate also to partnerships in the development and tourist activities, partnership with the sector of cultural heritage. We are this year, as some of you are certainly aware of, in the European Year for Cultural Heritage. And there is a strong link between the protection of natural and cultural heritage, and sometimes actually natural heritage is and also officially recognized as cultural heritage. We did a bit of work in mapping the UNESCO sites, UNESCO World Heritage Site in the European Union. There are 365 of them. And we have now the information that almost 20% of them are basically located in Natura 2000 sites. As you can see, there is really a very close relationship. And 42% are within walking distance from Natura 2000 sites. So there is a strong link and a strong potential to associate and develop poles of attraction, of tourism attraction related to natural heritage and cultural cultural heritage. So I know that actually the colleagues from Europark have been also quite active in this respect in creating these partnerships with the cultural heritage world, if I can put it like that. And I think the integration of these two dimensions is extremely important for the future, because for a lot of particularly rural areas of the EU, the development, the economic development is not about industrial heavy installation. The only possibilities are related to new technologies, economies of services, and indeed local assets such as nature, those offered by nature protection. And in this respect, there are also some European-wide tools that can be relied upon. There is a program which is called COSME, which focuses on the competitiveness and enterprise of small and medium enterprises. And this program has already funded around 40 transnational sustainable tourism projects that try to drive change in this sector to improve the sustainability of tourism. There are other initiatives such as the Natura 2000 Awards that have recognized projects which indeed reconcile nature and economic activities such as tourism. There are other awards like the Eden Awards, the European Destination of Excellence, that also supports lesser-known destination dedicated to sustainable tourism management. So there are possibilities to actually conceive a local strategy and try to get support through it, through instruments which are both national and European-wide. So there is no limit to creativity, in fact. The sense of initiative and the commitment of those who work at the local level in the parks like you is the key assets. And then the only limit is the sky. There is really a lot that can be done when ideas are put in place by people who are really committed to them. So I would like to end by thanking you for your commitment indeed to manage parks on a daily basis and make them a better place for all of us, European citizens, and rest assured that you certainly have and you continue to have a partner in the Commission in that respect, and particularly in the environment of the Commission and in my team who works on Natura 2000. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Nicola Notaro. I think these words really encourage us to go forth, I think, because it's, of course, we may not destroy where we depend on, and we try to do that wherever nature appears, coastal areas, mountaintops, wherever it is. And of course, we have to build on partnerships, and that's what Europark does already for many years. And the Charter of Sustainable Tourism is one of these big things, I think, where we show evidence-based to the wider world that we can do it together. We can protect nature. We can also have a good holiday, and we can do sustainably. And I think in this important period of time now where we finish, like I said, and I began with that this morning in Sharm el-Sheikh, where they discuss about what to do with the biodiversity loss and how to make a policy globally, starting from 2020 and tomorrow, on Monday, starting with the climate COP in Katowice. I think we have a big opportunity. I think we have to speak about opportunities, not about problems. I think we have to talk about challenges, how we can make this happen. Because we have, I think, so many good examples that we have to come into the arena of the EU and make a statement there. Because I think we have politically and strategically a good position where all our members, all of you together, we manage 40 million hectares on land in Europe, and also approximately 40% of the 2000 network. So we have something to tell, not as the solution, but as a part of the solutions where we are all seeking for ourselves and our children. So thank you, Mr. Notaro, for these really encouraging words. And now we go further with the program, and I would like to hand over to our Executive Director, Carol Ritchie, to start the Charter Awards ceremony. Carol, you have the floor.
Hello. Yes. Hello again, everyone. Yes, those were incredibly encouraging and grateful words. Thank you, Nicola, for that. It's very encouraging for us in the parks world to hear representatives from DG Environment talking about the other aspects of our parks that are so familiar to us, like economic development and tourism and agriculture. You know, I've been with Europark, luckily, now for 10 years, and I can assure you that 10 years ago that was not the conversation we were having. So it's great to see a mind shift in the politicians and in the officials at the Commission in recognising the complexity and the holistic and the integrated nature of our work in parks. So I shall make sure that we continue that conversation with these officials and politicians in the Commission. Excuse me. This is one of my favourite parts of the whole Europark calendar year. It's a real pleasure and a privilege. Oh, do I have to go in the middle? Now I feel very exposed standing here. It's a real pleasure and privilege to recognise the fantastic work that you do in the parks in order to achieve the Charter for Sustainable Tourism. So I really like to take this opportunity to congratulate you. I realise that coming here today is really just the tip of the iceberg. It represents probably years of work developing partnerships with your businesses, with other stakeholders in your areas, filling in all of those dossiers and application forms, and of course hosting the verifier visits, which I understand are very important and useful for you in terms of the feedback that they can give you in your work in sustainable tourism. So it's with a particular pleasure that the first part of our award ceremony brings us to welcome 4 new parks into the Charter, into the Sustainable Destinations Network that we now have across Europe. So in advance, I will apologise to all of you for whom I am going to pronounce the names of your parks terribly incorrectly. I will do my best, but I apologise in advance. So I think you're going to get kind of a Italian and Spanish and French with a Scottish accent. So I think you'll have to make the best of that. So the first of our new parks that we'd like to welcome to the Charter Network is the Parco Regionale Alpi Apuane. I hope I'm close. So if you would like to come up to the front, we can see on the map where you are, and we'll see some pictures of their area.
It's great pleasure and honor for our park to take part at this important and prestigious ceremony. We would like to inform you this is the second international hour for us because the Herpon Alps Regional Park is also a UNESCO Global Geopark. These 2 labels are the clear sign of a strong activity on the road of sustainable tourism. Thanks to all.
Thank you so much. We're going to stay in Italy for the time being. And we're going to head over to one of our marine parks. And we're particularly delighted to see a marine park coming into the Sustainable Tourism Network. So I'd like to welcome the Area Marina Protetta Porto Cesario. If you could, oh, thank you. I've had some good coaching. So if you'd like to come to accept your award. Thank you.
you. Good morning. I'm Pasquale Coppola. I'm Vice President AMP Porto Cesario. It's not for us a rival, but a new opportunities for the future, and I'm very happy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so that's challenged my Italian pronunciation, and now I have to go to Spanish. So we pop over to Spain now, and we're going to welcome to the family the Parque Nacional Las Tablas de Daimiel. Thank you.
Just to say thank you very much for this recognition, and we are very proud of it. So.
Again, staying in Spain, we're going to head to the Monumentos Naturales y Comarca del Mestazgo. I hope that's close. If you would like to come to receive your award.
Thank you very much. We are greatly satisfied with this recognition because the tourist entrepreneurs have done a big effort to get it. We want to continue adding value to our territory, and this prize will help us to put the Maestrazgo in the map of quality and responsible destinations. Thank you.
Congratulations.
I said that earlier when we launched our new film, A Sustainable Journey, that sustainable tourism in our territories and in our parks is indeed a journey. It's a journey that continues, and I'm very pleased that the next group of parks that we will be inviting to receive their award are parks who have taken up the challenge of renewing their charter award. And I think that's particularly notable in these very challenging times, very challenging economic times, very challenging political times. And I think for you to continue to see the value in working with the Charter for Sustainable Tourism is something we are incredibly proud of and incredibly delighted about. Often when you're thinking about the benefits that come from the Charter, they really need to come certainly after that first 5 years of work. So we look forward to our parks from Italy and Spain and seeing you in 5 years' time when you come to renew your charter. But at the moment, as I say, we'd like to congratulate those who have continued in the journey and welcome them to receive their award for their re-evaluations of their charter. Now, some of us have travelled a little bit further than others to come here to the European Parliament today. And I'm particularly pleased to welcome our colleagues from the Parque Nacional de Guadalupe.
Thank you very much, Sir President. I'm so happy to receive this award from France in first and Guadeloupe in second. Guadeloupe is a national park, is in Caribbean. It's very important. We work together for sustainable development because we have a climate change now, and we have a lot of efforts to do to save the planet. Thank you very much for the Federation Europark. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you for helping to save the planet.
We're staying in France, but more continental France now. And it's also great to see the many different kinds of parks who enter into the charter process. We've seen today regional parks, natural parks, nature parks, and national parks. And it's nice also that we have a very strong commitment from the Parcs Régional Naturel in France. So I'd like to welcome the Parc Naturel Régional Périgord de Limousin from France to accept your award.
In French, excuse me. Très heureux d'être là, Monsieur le Président, parce que c'est vrai que j'étais là déjà pour la première remise, donc la première évaluation dans cette même hémicycle. Donc, du travail a été fait. C'est une reconnaissance du travail qui a été fait sur notre territoire. Et je tenais aussi à remercier tous les personnels qui s'investissent tous les jours dans nos parcs et qui font ce travail remarquable. Aujourd'hui, sur notre parc, on a réussi à organiser un réseau de professionnels sur l'écotourisme. Et ces professionnels, aujourd'hui, sont des ambassadeurs pour le futur. Donc, c'est vrai qu'on a un gros travail qui se fait sur le parc naturel Périgord-Limousin. Périgord, vous connaissez peut-être, on n'est pas loin de Lascaux, des grottes de Lascaux. Donc, c'est vrai qu'on a beaucoup de public. C'est vrai qu'aujourd'hui, il faut que nos comportements changent dans le monde. Et je pense que ça passe aussi à travers donc, nos parcs. Je pense qu'on reviendra dans nos parcs. Et voilà, je tenais à vous remercier. Et donc, à la prochaine fois. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, we very much recognise that those of you who we're glad to see here in the European Parliament attending today are really representing a huge cadre of personnel and staff and partners back in your own park. So we do acknowledge that, and please take our gratitude and good wishes to all the partners that you're working with in your charter parks. Again, we're going to stay in France, and again, we're delighted with the support that the Charter gets from the Parc Régional Naturel. So I'd like to welcome the Parc Naturel Régional Scarpe-Escaut to receive your award. Ah. They're not here? Maybe they're still in the line for security downstairs. It was a long line. We can certainly see some images of their parts today, and obviously we will make sure that their award certificate is delivered to them. Staying in Europe for the time being. We have 4 months left. I'm very delighted to welcome my colleague from England, from the United Kingdom, from the Shropshire Hills, area of outstanding beauty. We were just chatting earlier about the very challenging situation that we are currently in on the island of the United Kingdom. And for those of us who are very committed Europeans, this is a very difficult time, I can assure you. So with great pleasure, I would like to welcome the Shropshire Hills area of outstanding beauty from England and the United Kingdom to come and receive and accept their award.
I don't know how I'm going to get this home. Unfortunately, I don't speak fluently any of your languages, except perhaps the language that we're all here commonly to celebrate, and that is the importance of protected landscapes. We are a small landscape. We're a beautiful landscape, as you represent beautiful landscapes across Europe. We're very proud to be continue to be part of the Europark Federation, and we'll keep fighting the fight and facing the challenges that you are all facing. Thank you very much.
Unfortunately, our friends in Germany can't be with us today. We will be hosting a special ceremony for them early in 2019 so that they can receive their award in person. They're also part of the CETO project that I mentioned earlier. So they've created their own little film with regards to the Sustainable Journey project that I spoke about earlier. So you can see some images from them, and again, we will make sure that their certificate is delivered to them. Personally, I think, in this case. Okay, we're going to pop over to Spain now. Again, you're challenging my pronunciations, but I'll do my best. We're heading now to the Parque Natural del Alto Tajo. Tajo? Tajo. Tajo. I do apologize. I hope I get it right third time.
Thank you very much for the chat. We're very proud and grateful for having got it again. From the first hub, we got it in 2009. En Spain, sorry. Muchísimas gracias por este reconocimiento. Es una zona de gran belleza natural con una baja población que seguramente el turismo sostenible hará tener pues un futuro económico y de fijación de la población al territorio pues deseable. Muchísimas gracias.
Thank you.
Just before they come to accept their award, can I say, certainly on my behalf, and I'm sure on behalf of yours, can I just thank you for such a wonderful presentation this morning, and for reminding us that our parks aren't just repositories of nature, but of very special cultural assets as well. And thank you so much for sharing that special language with us this morning. We feel very honoured that you brought that to us. So thank you so much for that. And having learned that a j is a ch, I hope I get the next one right. So I'd like to now welcome the Parque Nacional Garajonay. Garajonay. I'm getting closer. Please come to accept your award.
Muchas gracias por esas hermosas palabras, muchas gracias por ese reconocimiento. Como ven, el Garajonay es mágico. Nosotros nos comprometemos, asumimos el compromiso de renovar ese compromiso que tenemos con la sostenibilidad, con mayúsculas, con la conservación de nuestra naturaleza, con la conservación de nuestra cultura, en un enclave europeo, con vocaciones europeas desde nuestra identidad, como han podido ver. Muchas gracias y seguimos, como decíamos, en nuestro gran compromiso.
Thank you so much. Okay, Italy is one of our huge supporters of the Charter for Sustainable Tourism. And we're delighted to have such a large delegation of Italian parks with us today. So again, oh, sorry, I do apologise. They are not here. Sorry, I hope you saw that. So the Parque Nacional de Monfragüe, unfortunately, again, can't be with us. But again, we'll make sure they get their certificate. Now we can go to Italy. Yeah, I say we have a great delegation of Italian parks with us today, so thank you all so much for coming. So we can do a little bit of a whirlwind tour around Italy, seeing some of the re-evaluated parks. Again, thank you so much for your commitment in going forward in this sustainable journey. So the first park I would like to welcome to receive their award is the Area Protette Veglia Tevere. I hope that was close. My O-grade Latin is failing me at the moment. Ossola. Yeah, sorry, I missed out the last part of your name. Tevere Ossola.
So, our park are three parks. They are Alpine Park. The Alps are very high, quite 4,000 meters. In the Alps, climate change are stronger than in other different regions. And because glacier go back every year. And Charter help us to improve, get strong the network of the stakeholders who work in tourism and in cows and in milk. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much.
I'm also very pleased that Tevere Ossola were telling me last night that they're also applying to become a transboundary park with Switzerland. So very delighted and very pleased at your initiative in that, and yeah, look forward to you becoming a charter and a transboundary park at the same time. So moving on, we'll head now to the Parque Nazionale Valle Grande.
Good morning. I am very happy for this recognition. Val Grande is the largest largest wilderness area in the Alps. Buon lavoro e buona fortuna a tutti.
Okay, thank you.
We were delighted that a few years ago we were able to have our Europark conference in our next park, and I have very fond and lovely memories of our time there. So I would really like to welcome the Parco Nazionale d'Abruzzo, Lazio e Molise to receive your award.
Il mio inglese non è molto buono, parlo in italiano. No, sono felice che per noi per il Parco Nazionale d'Abruzzo Lazio e Molise era un traguardo quello di poter riconfermare la certificazione di Europark. La aggiungiamo al diploma europeo, la aggiungiamo al riconoscimento delle faggete vetuste patrimonio UNESCO dell'anno scorso. E per noi appunto è un piccolo traguardo raggiunto, ma un grande impegno di lavoro per i prossimi 5 anni.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, our next park can't be with us, the Colle Ugani Parco Regionale, but again, we will make sure we pass their award to them. And now our park, who have done a lot for us whilst we're here. It was through their endeavours that we were able to make contact with Paulo de Castro, the MEP who's hosting us today. And they welcomed us to a lovely reception last night where we heard about some projects in their area and, of course, made the presentation this morning. So with great pleasure, I would like to welcome the Parco Natural Regionale of Dune Costera de Torre Cane e Torre San Leonardo.
Thank Ignace, thank Carol. The renewal of Charter Award encourage us to increase our efforts to reach the third step, the third phase of Charter. We are working with Paulo Castro, and I commit in this moment to be the first Italian park for this goal. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We're staying in Italy and we're going to head to the Parco Nazionale della Silla.
Oh, I am very happy to be here. I bring greetings from the president and the director. Don't be here. And I hope you can visit Calabria, because Calabria is not only sea, but it's a big mountain, a very good big mountain. Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, lots of places to visit, of course.
It's our final award of the day, but by no means the least in our expectations. And I would like to welcome the Parco Naturale Adamella Brenta to receive their re-evaluation award.
Well, thank you so much. I'm so proud to be here to represent Parco Naturale Adamella Brenta. I think that knowledge, sustainability, and network will be the keywords of the tourism of the future. And for that, we have so happy to have this recognized. And a very thank you I have to do at the employee of the park, because I'm a council member, but the politician pass, and employed stay in the park and do hard work every day to be the park good. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I think we are finished now, but before I hand over to Carol Ritchie to do the final remarks, I would like to give you to give a hand of applause for the people who are working behind the scenes, because there's a lot of work done behind the scenes, week beforehand, months beforehand. So Galia, Olivier, and Stefania, thank you so much for organizing this. So, Carol, it's up to you. You have the final words to address to a fine moment of the year, I think, for many of us.
Thank you. I won't detain you any longer. For me, I think I've put all of what I feel about the Charter for Sustainable Tourism, and I hope I have interpreted what you feel about the Charter for Sustainable Tourism in the film. So for me, the film says everything I need to say about the importance of the Charter, the importance of your work in the territories and in the parks, and the importance of that work to create a better, more sustainable future for our world and for our societies. So I encourage you to watch the film in your own language and to share it widely and to make sure we get that message out. But just in conclusion, we've kept a few treats for you for the end of our session. I have acknowledged through the award ceremony today the importance of the partnerships that you hold in your parks, particularly with businesses, with tourism businesses. And Europark has long realised that although we recognise that, we're not showing that recognition in any particular way. So I'd like to announce to you now that we are going to launch in the new year new awards for charter businesses. So partners in businesses, whether they be accommodations, whether they be producers, whether they be restaurants, guides, any kind of partner that's working with a charter park, we are creating a new special award just for them. So I hope this time next year, when we come to present our awards, we will also be presenting awards to the businesses in recognition of their partnership and their work with you in the parks. So we'll be sending some information out to you in the new year, and I very much encourage you to share that with your partners, and let's have them up here at the heart of the European Parliament and recognise the contribution that the businesses make to a more sustainable tourism destination. Europark has also been very successful in achieving some new projects. And there's two in particular, particularly one in particular, that I want to mention to you today. And that's a new project, an Erasmus project, called Sustainable Tourism for Tomorrow. And that's a project where we are looking to develop new training tools for you who work in the sustainable tourism sector, in the parks, and obviously for your stakeholders and businesses. It will be in the languages of the Charter. It will be in Spanish, French, and Italian. So workshops and other materials will be available in those languages, and we'll be looking for participants to take part in this project with us to contribute to developing those training tools, because we need to know your experience firsthand and what you need to help you in your sustainable tourism work. So I look forward to working with you over the next couple of years in that project to really expand our skills and our capacity in working in sustainable tourism. Some of you may have been at our Europark conference in Scotland this year in Aviemore, and there we launched the Youth Manifesto. And the Youth Manifesto has been co-created with representatives of the youths of Europe from all of your countries. And it's a challenge that's been delivered to us, the policy decision makers, administrators of these rural areas in Europe, to bring the young people into our world. It's going to be their future, and they want a part in creating it. And that includes having a part and a seat in the parks. I was very proud when we made the Sustainable Journey film that you saw in that. Young entrepreneurs, the young lady who runs the Gîte in France, the young lady who was part of the cultural musicians who gave us lovely music at the end of the film. So the young people are out there. Let's utilise their experience and be inspired by the next generation to take forward our work with them for the future. So I encourage you to look at our Youth Manifesto and see what you can do back in your parks to bring young people into your sustainable tourism work as well. And then finally, before we go, we love coming together as Europark. We love meeting each other, sharing experiences, networking, getting some new ideas, stealing the best ideas from somebody else and using them in our own parks. That's what Europark's all about. Well, you've got another opportunity to do that. Every 2 years, we hold a charter network meeting so that people who are really deep into the sustainable tourism have the opportunity to come together to talk about in more depth the issues, the challenges, the solutions, the exciting parts of working in sustainable tourism. And that meeting will be taking place in April in Soumerca National Park in Greece. So if you fancy a few days in Greece in the early spring, in the lovely Soumerca National Park, come together with your other charter colleagues from different countries, and we can basically just talk sustainable tourism for 2 or 3 days. All of the information is on the Europark website, so please just pop on there and the details are there. But of course, we will be sending more specific information out to you. Now, the very last thing I'd like to invite you to do before we head off to our different airts and pairts in the world is to come together for a family photograph, for a group photograph. So if I could invite everyone to come to the front of the stage, and we'll have a photograph of us all together. Sorry, just been reminded 2 other things. I have a lot to do. Next week, Europark is back in Brussels. Well, we never leave, really, but we're back to really take some of your concerns and some of your case studies to the heart of the European Commission. You heard Nicola Notaro say earlier how pleased he is to have that exchange with our members, with the Europark members. And we're doing that next week on the 6th and the 7th of December. If any of you fancy coming back to Brussels for that, you would be very welcome. It gives us an opportunity to have a dialogue, a one-on-one dialogue with the officials of the Commission to really put our concerns to them and to hear about the programmes, initiatives and funding opportunities that they can present to us. Again, all the information is on the Europark website. You are welcome to take a look there. And finally, if you need a tube to help you get your award certificates back to your countries, we have them here for you. You're very welcome to take one. So if you'd like to come up, we'll have our group photograph.
Se ho pronunciato male ci mancherebbe. Vado a fare la